And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, Tuesday, December 30th. We are almost done this year, folks. Today and tomorrow, we're shipping off to 2026. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down 4-game slate. That's all we got for today. And importantly, I want you guys to remember, lock is at 8 tonight. So typically we're used to a 7, maybe a 7:30. 8 p.m. start for Philly, Memphis. 9 p.m. start for Boston, Utah. 10:30 start for Pistons, Lakers. 11 o'clock start for the Kings and the Clippers. This is quite the late one for the East Coast. But you do have 3 late swap opportunities on a 4-game slate. That's kind of interesting. That at least opens up a little bit of strategy for you. None of these games are particularly great. I think we can all agree there. Philly, Memphis is Boston, Utah is... Utah's been winning lately, but Boston's awesome. Pistons, Lakers is a weird one. Lakers have been odd. No Austin Reeves, no Rui. Kings, Clippers is dreadful. Kings are obvious. Here's how bad the Kings are. They're 10.5-point dogs to the Clippers today. Yikes. Clippers got Derek Jones Jr. back last time out. I did not know that. It must have happened over the weekend. I haven't looked at the standings in a while either. All right. Man, Raptors still in third, even though they're 5-5 in their last 10. It's crazy. For the most part, there's nothing all that surprising on here. The most surprising thing on here is the fact that the Clippers are 10-21. I'm not surprised really with any other team's location in the standings other than the Clippers. To a degree, Toronto, but I also just assume they're going to be 7th by the time it matters. And I guess Cleveland 7th is crazy, but Cleveland 7th makes more sense to me than Clippers 13. Realistically, the Cavs can be the 3 seed in a week. Yeah, they haven't been healthy though either. They probably missed their window trading Jared Allen. That's something I've been thinking about lately. Felt like you couldn't break that up 18 months ago, and it was kind of the obvious thing that needed to happen, and now I think it's too late. I think they could have got legit something real for Jared Allen, or real enough. And now I don't think he can get anything. The Bulls and Hawks being 9-10 and what they are is just hilarious. Just so typical. The Hawks are 5-11 at home. Incredible. You don't got to tell me, Steven. No beasts in the East. I want to know what the Celtics look like when and if Tatum plays. You know how I feel about that. They're the best team in the East. At full strength. I think. And they can get better. If they can turn Anthony Simons into another big that can play in the playoffs, it doesn't have to be a star. What would be a good example? God, I'm looking at all these teams and I don't really have an answer. Honestly, I don't mean it like this, but if Boston can find a Mitchell Robinson, a guy that can go out there and credibly play 18 minutes to 22 minutes in a playoff game, I think they're the best team in the East. Like, pretty easily, too. Trey and trade rumors. Yeah, I don't know where he goes. I don't know what the location is. They're like, when we start thinking about these trade rumors for point guards, this is like the market just Bagley cannot be trade bait. Like, think about what's going on in the league. You've got Hawks trying to trade Trae Young, Hornets trying to trade LaMelo. You've got, where are we going here? Ja for Memphis. Am I missing another tumultuous point guard right now? I feel like I'm missing one more. But like, in this game of musical chairs, where do they land? When I look at this, I have no idea where like a logical spot for Trae Young. I can't figure it out. Like, because there's obviously places, but it's just, how do you make it work? Sacramento. Yeah, I mean, they're the answer to all these questions. I mean, I'd call Sacramento all the time, just hoping I can get their good stuff and they keep trading away their bads, or keep trading away their good stuff and keeping their bad stuff. Like, why would Dallas do it? You got Kyrie there. They're trying to get out of the AD business. I'm not saying like I don't think that's a good idea, but you got to get rid of Kyrie if you're doing. You can't have Kyrie, Irving, and Trae Young on the same basketball team. That's impossible. Part of me really likes the idea of just flipping Trae Young for LaMelo, because the Hawks' biggest problem is that like when Trae Young's on the floor, their entire defensive identity has to shift to cover for Trae. It's not that LaMelo's good, but he's not small. He can step into every sort of switch that they want to do. He's not going to be he's never going to work like that, but being 7 inches bigger than Trae Young is huge. They both get a fresh start. You know, I think there's plenty for Trae to work with in Charlotte. I don't know. I don't know why. Orlando's the interesting one to me, because they have the pieces defensively to make it work. But the problem is, realistically, one of Franz or Paolo have to be the ones that go. I don't think they could get rid of. I think Suggs is the linchpin to everything they do. Now, Trae Young alongside Suggs works for me. Bane a little too small for the 3 at that point. But I like the idea of Orlando being able to like make up for it. I just don't know. I don't expect the Spurs to do it. They have 100 guards already. That would be silly. Like, I don't like Steph Castle. I wouldn't want to flip him for Trae Young. What's the other one that I saw? Houston. They've got the defense to back it up. I just don't know if they want to change their identity like that. I mean, Brooklyn's just always like, why would anyone want to go to Brooklyn? Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in Castle, because there's some things that he does incredibly well. But for him to unlock, like, being a guy, he's got to shoot. Otherwise, like, 3 years from now, we're just going to be like, Steph Castle can't shoot. You know? If he finds that to be even decent, it'll be good. I mean, the defense is fantastic. His transition game, fantastic. There are pieces of it that are very, very, very good. But if he can't shoot, it starts to get tough. Fit becomes a problem. You want as many pieces as you can that fit with everybody else, no matter what. That's the thing that saves you. Blazers for Trae? I mean, it'd be interesting if another team wanted to get Drew Holiday, but he's been out for too long. Anyway, let's hit this slate kind of quick. I just want to walk through it, hit everybody with where we stand for right now. First game up, Philly, Memphis. Grizzlies are 1.5 dogs, 232 total. Injuries out the wazoo right now. Still no Kelly Oubre, still no Trendon Watford, although both guys were at practice, so I think these guys are getting close. Embiid, questionable. We're well aware of how this works at this point. I assume he plays, but, if he doesn't, we also know what to do at that point, too. The Grizzlies, just absolute death again. No Brandon Clark, no Mashak, no Conchar. KCP out for this one. Still no Pippen, Jerome, Vince Williams, Zach Edey. Jock Landale is questionable. And then Javon Small and Omax are both questionable. It feels like those guys are going to play with Memphis today, given their shorthandedness. If Jock Landale's out, they're almost guaranteed to play. But my expectation is that the two G League guys are going to be around for Memphis today because they don't really have much of a choice. They're very, very shorthanded. If we look at Memphis, just to outline that a little bit, this is everything you see on the screen right now is what they might have. So, worst case scenario, they have 8 guys. Morant, Wells, Coward, Aldama, Triple J, Cam Spencer, Gigi Jackson, Christian Coloco. If Landale plays, you'll see Coloco's minutes come down. If not, Coloco's played 25 and 28 in the last 2. Keep an eye. And then I expect to see Omax and Javon Small in some way. Don't have to. We'll find out eventually. But that's a lot of injury news for that one. That's up in the air for a 4-gamer. Boston, Utah. Celtics are 7.5-point favorites in Utah. They are at full strength for what they typically are. It's just Tatum. Jazz, not so much. Keontae George is questionable. That will have massive ripple effects throughout this entire slate if he happens to be out. We will be playing a lot of Isaiah Collier, I guess. Ace Bailey still out. Kevin Love out for rest. The 10:30 game. Lakers, Pistons. This one's in LA. Lakers are 2.5-point dogs, 230 total. Karis LeVert is doubtful for the Pistons. Otherwise, they're fine. For the Lakers, no Austin Reeves, who's going to be out for a bit. Rui, Gabe Vincent. So they're missing bodies as well. For the Kings and Clippers, Clippers are 10.5-point favorites. Obviously, still no Sabonis or Levine. Keegan Murray is questionable for today. Now, I don't expect him to play today, but it is interesting to see that he's questionable. On the Clippers side, I mentioned before, Derek Jones Jr. is back finally. John Collins now questionable with an illness. No Bogdan Bogdanovic. Obviously, still no Ivica Zubac. But the Keegan Murray one is wild to me. I am not anticipating him playing. Realistically, it's been a week. It could be today. It just feels early. It feels more likely that he comes back for the Boston game. But the interesting thing here is they're also missing Dylan Cardwell. Cardwell's been playing 20 plus minutes a night for, the past 2 weeks or so. Him being out matters, and it will. There's a non-zero chance that Precious gets 26 minutes. And I think that'll be a pretty interesting thing to see. They've dusted off Doug McDermott again. That's crazy. John, the one thing I'd push back on is I don't think he's a low efficiency guard. I think that's more of an Atlanta thing than a Trey thing. I think with the right people around him, his efficiency would skyrocket. He needs another guy that can take a shot with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They don't have that right now. And if you can get him away from having to take some of those, the efficiency, I think, would climb. Well, like, it's not like Jalen Johnson's taking a 25-footer with 4 seconds on the shot clock. He's a dreadful shooter. One thing I want to give you guys a peek on. Let's pull up the stochastic data hub for today and take a look at where the ownership is, at least to start the day. Don't get married to this stuff, folks. It's all going to change. But the heavy chalk right now is $4,400 shooting guard small forward Bryce Sensabaugh. Ace Bailey being out, making Sensabaugh look a little bit more interesting. Solid per minute guy. Incredible positionality. Shooting guard small forward. Looks great. And then we have 7 guys in the 40s in ownership. Peyton Pritchard, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Yusuf Nurkic, Isaiah Collier. Boston, Clippers, Utah. Boston gets the benefit of playing Utah. The Clippers get the benefit of playing Sacramento. And Utah has the benefit of having some bodies out. And that is where all of the ownership is going right now. And I think it makes sense. There's one guy I want to talk about right now. Do I still have this open? I do. This is the sneakiest guy on today's slate. I'm going to hand this one out right now for you guys. Did anybody pay attention to the most recent Pistons game? No? Okay. Well, let me fill you in. Jaden Ivey played 29 minutes last time out. He got his standard rotation in the first half. Cade had 3 fouls. They gave Jaden Ivey an extra 2 minutes at the end of the second quarter. Ivey then comes in for his standard rotation in the third. Now, Karis LeVert did leave the game. Don't think it matters all that much, but he's also doubtful for today, so it holds. When Jaden Ivey checked into the game at the midway point of the third quarter, he never left the floor again. They did not close with Tobias Harris. They did not close with Duncan Robinson. They closed with Beef Stew, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Cade Cunningham, and Jalen Duren. Now, I clearly don't think that Jaden Ivey is just playing 28 minutes today off the bench. If he did, he's 100% owned. But you now have to give Jaden Ivey something else. I have him in for 21 minutes right now. Point guard, shooting guard eligible, 3,900. If you point, like, that's sick. You give him 1 more minute, and he probably jumps from 22% ownership to 30. You give him 2 more minutes, and he's easily in the 40s. I hope that it stays down here. Let's also remember, the Lakers' defense is awful. Awful. I am fascinated by Jaden Ivey now. How much does he play? He might go right back to 18 minutes. No idea. But 3,900, basically free, with an upside against a Lakers team that has basically not a single good defender on the team outside of Marcus Smart. I am very interested in Jaden Ivey. I'm pretty sure I know how this goes. I get confidence in Jaden Ivey. I 2x him during contests. Jaden Ivey plays 16 minutes because they give the playing time to Danish Jenkins. I love the Boston guys, no surprise. I mean, they're the only guys that do anything for the Celtics. Nurkic is interesting. His minutes have been creeping up a little bit. No Kevin Love around for today either. Brook Lopez has obviously been playing a ton. I think he's probably in a pretty nice spot here against Sacramento. If we're talking about guys like a little bit further down the line. In my contenders to start the day, I've got Harden number 1, Sensabaugh 2, Nurkic 3, Markkanen 4, Kawhi 5, Derek White, Marcus Smart, Jalen Duren, Peyton Pritchard, and Jaylen Brown rounding out the rest of my top 10. But $9,100 James Harden playing like 37 minutes a night, getting the Kings today. He's been good. Same feel for Kawhi at small forward. I'm happy to go that direction. Wouldn't mind it at all. Safest play of the day to get north of 5x. I've got it as Yusuf Nurkic. Bryce Sensabaugh, close second. Also, keep your eye on Isaiah Collier today if Keontae George ends up out. That is going to be quite important. Here's the tier list. This will be pretty cut and dry. Harden, Nurkic, Sensabaugh are my top tier. They are the 3 best plays for me, at least as of 9:23 a.m. And then we've got 11 dudes in my A tier. Kawhi, Jaylen Brown, Keontae George, Westbrook, Markkanen, Duren, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, Isaiah Collier. Then it starts to get pretty busy. If we're talking about salary, there are some big salaries out there today. Luka at $12K. Tough matchup against the Pistons. Has as many shots as he could possibly want. But then you get to Cade at 10.5. Nobody else above 10K. Jeremy, don't look at defensive ratings for players. That's a team stat. Like the pay up structure for today is really crazy. Luka on an island. And then realistically, like Cade on his own semi-island. Maxey, Kawhi, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, LeBron, all in the 9Ks. I think it's pretty clear LeBron is not the same thing as those guys. And then you're into the bottom half of the 8Ks now. It's Embiid at 8,300. It's Keontae George at 8,100. It's Westbrook at 8K. Russell Westbrook is the 10th most expensive guy today. It's almost 2026. I didn't know they had China DraftKings now. So on a 4-gamer, do you need Luka for raw points? So that's an interesting discussion. We could talk about it here. So I've got Luka at 57 right now. I mean, you can quibble somewhere around 60. When he's in an optimal lineup, it looks like you need about 67. You can probably get by in like the mid to low 60s with him. I think it's more interesting to see these 8 and 9K guys. Like the gap for who would be a good example? Harden, I think, is a good example, given he's like my favorite dude today. Got him projected for 51, but 54 is the score that he gets when he's in the optimal. That's like his 20th percentile score. Like what you're going to feel pretty happy about. I think it's just easier to get to this mid-range a little bit more. Or not the mid-tier of pay-ups. Sorry. But I'm fully expecting to be in that like 8-9K range pretty aggressively. I guess we could take a look at that quickly before I get out of here. I got a dip in a couple minutes, guys, just because we've got a contractor coming to the house today. So I got to meet with him quickly. But, I mean, schedule for the rest of the day is very simple. We'll have live before lock and the deeper dive later tonight. Standard issue stuff. NFL strategy show at 10. All the same things. Here's the thing that I want to tell you guys about, and I want you guys to pay attention to. You need to be following me on Tails for this, because that's where all the goods are going to go. DraftKings has King of the Court today. 4-game slate. Whoever has, you put in your qualified bet. Highest PRA on the day is what gets you the dub. And then you're splitting bonus bets. I've got King of the Court for my data already prepped and ready to go. Luka, unsurprisingly, the number one option by a mile. Twice as likely as any other individual to be King of the Court. That said, I got it at 30%. That means 70% of the time it's not him. Harden second, Jaylen Brown third, Cade fourth, Kawhi fifth. Now all of that makes a ton of sense. But when you start getting further down the line, it gets a little thin. And finding one of those, not enough games, Steven. That's why you still see it in here. It starts to get thin late. But like, there are guys like Paul George. Triple J is tough because there's no credit for blocks. I think DeMar is like a little interesting here. I think Santi Aldama is probably a little interesting here. There were scenarios. You can see it here at 0.1. There was a scenario in my Sims where Bryce Sensabaugh had the highest PRA of the day. I also had one apparently with Taylor Hendricks. You best believe if you take Taylor Hendricks today, you might win $1 million in bonus bets. I don't know a fucking soul that's going to do that. That would be interesting, to say the least. I think Keontae George is sneaky if he plays. I'd have a hard time going to Embiid. I would want to be looking on like page 2, page 3 for me here. It's hard with 4 games. I think someone like Santi Aldama, Westbrook, DeRozan, Paul George. That's sort of the area I want to be in. Keegan Murray potentially back today. We'll see. Q-tag. Don't expect to see him, but you never know. Jake LaRavia is probably like the sneak of all sneaks, but I don't know how you do that. It's hard enough to imagine him beating just Luka. But I'm going to have a ton of content out today on King of the Court. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll get a prize picks card out in a bit. And then just hanging out, creating, putting stuff out. Deeper dive at 6. Live before lock at 7. 8 o'clock start for tonight. It's a very light work day today on the NBA side. And we've got 9 games tomorrow. Slightly different schedule for New Year's Eve. Do we want to talk through that quickly? So we have the New Year's Eve show. I'm not going to do a strategy show at 10. Assuming they put the Warriors Hornets game in the early and we have a 4-game early, I will do a live before lock New Year's Eve for the early games. And then Greg and I for the night, it's going to be a little different. I'm going to do a 45-minute deeper dive tomorrow solo. Greg is going to do a 45-minute live before lock tomorrow solo. So that's what you guys are going to get for New Year's Eve tomorrow. But for today, we're all done. And I got to go meet the contractor because I can hear my dogs barking. And that means he's here. So good luck, everybody.